it will not be possible for them to do that before the close of the year, because necessarily Parliament will have to come in. So clearly, yes, it's a good attempt, but I do not think that we'll be able to see the light of day, considering the fact that we have less than 3 months to go for the upcoming elections. And in any case, you see, the reason why maybe it is the issue of the timing, but if it is something that has been thought through long before this time, then the minister should have known that these small mistakes cannot be made. In any case, when the Electoral Commission creates a constituency, it is supposed to be within a certain district. So if you're going to have a situation whereby one MP will be serving in 2 districts, then it's a no-no. And I do not see why, with the legal team that the ministry has and all that, they will make such a fundamental mistake. And that is why I am convinced beyond reasonable doubt that this whole action is a knee-jerk reaction because of the promise that the NDC made in their manifesto.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your time. We're grateful.
Your pleasure is mine.
You had us speak to the executive director of the Chamber of Local Governance, Dr. Richard Fiadomo. You're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Let's switch our attention to issues relating to illegal mining. And the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has declined an invitation extended it by the newly constituted committee by President Akufo-Addo to find solutions to the illegal mining menace. According to UTAG, the meeting is unnecessary, and instead they are urging the president to declare a state of emergency as a first step. Here are excerpts of a write-up by UTAG, University of Ghana President Professor Ransford Jampo. He put it up on Facebook.
See water from Brim River as of yesterday, 14th September 2024. Yet they still have marshaled the guards to call organized labor to a meeting to talk about what? We won't honor any invitation. The demands are simple. Government clearly has no political will to save or prevent all of us from dying. So we would fight to save ourselves. 1. Declare a state of emergency. 2. Place a moratorium on all mining, whether legal or illegal, and let the integrity of our colored water be restored. 3. Then we can all have a national conversation about the sensible means of mining that won't kill us. There is no need for any meeting. The message of organized labor is clear. Government has up to the end of this month to act, else we would shut down the entire public sector. It is that simple. The type of mining government has allowed in Ghana that destroys our very source of livelihood is a war against the state and its citizenry. Unfortunately, the state has refused to fight to defend itself and its citizens. So we will fight to survive, and no one will put hurdles in our way by calling for meetings.
You had the excerpts of that Facebook post by the University of Ghana UTAG President Professor Ransford Jampo. You're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for Tamale North constituency, Alasan Suyin, has also expressed concerns over what he claims is a clueless response from the Akufo-Addo-led government in relation to the fight against galamsey. I'll take you through excerpts of a statement issued by the Tamale North MP. It says here that in light of the ongoing surrounding illegal mining activities, otherwise known as galamsey in Ghana, we wish to acknowledge the tireless efforts of civil society organizations and labor unions that recently have been at the forefront of advocacy, education, and advocating for sustainable practices. Has not only highlighted urgent need for a collaborative approach to environmental conservation, but has also galvanized the needed public awareness on the critical implication of these illegal practices. It goes on to say that, however, it is with great concern that we must address the clueless and sometimes seemingly pretentious response from the government and particularly the office of the president regarding this pressing issue, the persistent pollution of our water bodies and irreversible destruction of our cherished forest reserves pose significant threats to both our environment and public health. Despite numerous promises and money-sapping initiatives launched by the government, the situation continues to worsen as no progress has been made to effectively combat the Galamsey menace, leaving many communities to bear the severe consequences of the illegal mining activities. So those are excerpts of a statement issued by the Tamale North MP, Al-Hassan Suhini. He's a member of the Lands and Forestry Committee of Parliament. Let's get some reactions to the issues relating to Galamsey on social media, especially with the government's announcement of or formation of a committee to find a lasting solution to this menace. Nanama Anobimpo Aqua joins me in the studio with what you have been saying on social media. Nanama, what are people saying?
Well, is this the solution that we've all been waiting for? When we go to X, we see Edrino, who says Ghana is a very funny country, and the reason our leaders don't take things seriously. You sit there and couldn't set up this until a few months to elections, and then you come up with this. The 5-member committee will take sitting allowances. They are now going to find solutions. Then John adds, there is no will, so there will be no action. When we move over to Facebook, Nana Kojo says it's simply the same old story. Stefan says, hey, cash out is allowed again. Then Junior asks, how can you let the same people under whose watch Galamsey is rampant be in the committee to fight the canker? Well, that's what you had to tell us on social media. Continue to send us your messages on Instagram, on Facebook, and on X. My name is Anama Akwana. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Anama, bringing us up to speed with what people are saying on social media in relation to the decision by government to form a committee to look at the issue of illegal mining. Let's speak to the General Agricultural Workers Union. Andy Tego is with that association. He's joined us over the telephone line. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here on the Star Midday News.
Thank you very much.
Now, what are your great? What are your thoughts on the decision to form a committee to look at the issue of illegal mining and finding a lasting solution to it?
Thank you very much. Respectfully, it's a call in the right direction, but I would think that the situation now does not require just a committee that's sitting down. As we speak now, the heavy champagnes, heavy machines are in the forest and destroying it at an alarming proportion. And what we're calling for at this time is not to start a process of the bureaucracies of committees and the rest. We are respectfully calling on His Excellency the President to use his powers to save all of us. And that is to stop and halt all Galamsey activities anywhere in Ghana immediately. We commission the army, the police, and the security systems with full force to go to the Galamsey site and ensure that Galamsey is halted and reversed. And those of our people, that is the Ghanaian colleagues who are affected, it's about jobs. It's about people wanting to make incomes. Government immediately develop livelihood schemes with the people to stop the Galamsey and address the root causes. And that is where we are. And then through organized labor, a statement was issued for government to call a state of emergency on Galamsey. And these are the things we want government to do before we start the talking. Because we cannot start talking when people are dying, when the forest continues to be destroyed, when our water bodies continue to be destroyed with cyanide.
Okay, so the committee being formed is not enough, you say?
It is not enough, and it is respectfully to His Excellency. It is we are adding our voice to it, and we are seeing something. So we are saying something that this call to stop Galamsey must be now. And after Galamsey is stopped, we can now sit down and begin to talk about how to address pertinent issues and matters arising.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your time. We're very grateful that you're able to speak to us.
Grateful too.
You had to speak to Andy Tego, he's a General Secretary for the General Agricultural Workers Union. We'll be moving to the courts in a bit because the jurors who earlier declared a strike are set to resume work after their allowances were paid. Well, jury trials are set to resume at the High Court in Accra after jurors who had embarked on a strike to protest the non-payment of the allowances called it off. Now, this follows the payment of over 10 months' allowances by the Judicial Service. On May 15 this year, the jurors declared an indefinite strike, which resulted in the halt of all indictable cases, including murder cases. Now, EIB Network's legal affairs correspondent Mutala Inusa can confirm that the jurors have been paid ahead of the new legal year, with some expected in court before a vacation court this week. Now, we'll be speaking to Mutala Inusa for more on this. Unfortunately, our calls to him have gone unanswered. As and when we are able to reach Mutala on the telephone line, we will bring that conversation to you.
Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Cool 103.5 FM in Ho, Rage and Might FM in Tamale, Somali FM in Wa, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM.
Yeah, welcome back. You're still listening to the Starr Midday News on Starr 103.5 FM. Let's switch our attention now to some politics. Now, leadership of the NDC are rallying support for tomorrow's demonstration against the Electoral Commission. The main opposition party is at loggerheads with the EC over its refusal to conduct a forensic audit of the voters' register. Now, despite claims by the NDC that the electoral roll is riddled with discrepancies, the EC insists their concerns have been addressed. But flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, says persons interested in the country's democracy should join the demonstration tomorrow. My colleague Abdul Hanan Adams has more in this report.
The NDC has been advocating for a forensic audit of the voters' register after detecting several discrepancies during the voter exhibition exercise, where some voters' names were missing and others were transferred to different polling stations without their consent. However, the Electoral Commission maintains that it has rectified the errors internally and dismissed the call for a forensic audit, describing it as unnecessary. But speaking during a community engagement at Amanfro in the Botiano English Amanfro constituency as part of his Greater Accra Regional Campaign Tour, John Mahama stated that the NDC's call for an audit is in the best interest of the country and charged Ghanaians, including traditional rulers, to join the protest on Tuesday.
We're doing a demonstration to the EC office, and that demonstration is not only NDC, it is all Ghanaians who are willing to join the demonstration, so that we go and tell EC to sit up and do its work properly so that we have a peaceful election. That's the purpose of that demonstration. In the recent survey that was done by Global Info Analytics, it showed that 58% of Ghanaians still have trust in our EC. Despite all the issues our EC has, a majority of Ghanaians still trust the EC. And so they should not betray that trust.
The former president further stated that the only way to get the EC to sit up is to put pressure on them.
People are behaving as if NDC is being troublesome by calling for an audit. It won't take more than 2 weeks to finish a proper audit of the register. And that's why we're saying the EC should accept, form an independent committee, let it go into the register, accept all our complaints, clean up the register, let us all be satisfied, and then we move on. That is our demand.
You had the flag bearer of the opposition NDC ending that report by Abdul Hanan there. Let's go back to our earlier story in relation to the jurors who embarked on the strike over arrears in their allowances. To speak to our legal affairs correspondent Mutala Inusa for more on this. Mutala, so you say that about 10 months of the arrears have been paid them. Is that all that is owed them, or there is more?
Well, I did a good news for justice delivery, good news for all indictable cases. It actually has to do with murder, treason, felony, manslaughter, all these cases. Families who have relatives who have cases in relation to this subject matter would now have some hope, because initially they were owed, as of May, they were owed 10 months. And as I talk to you today, all arrears in relation to the number of months, including those that were not mentioned as of May, have been cleared. So what is clear is that the jurors are not owed. Now all the arrears have been cleared. As for the information that I have gathered, I have confirmed that from the registry of the High Court as I talk to you now. In fact, I've also spoken to some of the jurors involved, and they tell me that yes, they have received all the arrears owed them. And so would you expect that even Wednesday there are some cases that are supposed to come out before the vacation court, where verdicts are expected to be delivered, where the jurors will be needed in that. And my understanding is that all of them are ready, are willing to avail themselves and make sure that justice delivery is back on track. So yes, since May, you notice that they abandoned their post, they did not come to court, and all those cases have stalled. What is clear is that they have been settled, and the indication is that they are resuming. The legal vacation resumes next month, and they are back fully on duty.
All right, thank you very much. Mutala Inusa is our legal affairs correspondent. You're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Time now to bring you the very latest in the world of sports. And I've been joined in the studio. I'll tell you in a bit. But before we do sports, let's do some politics. Now, political analyst Dr. Asa Asante has called on the leadership of the NPP to rein in their running mate, Dr. Matthew Pukuprempe. This follows the running mate's comments describing NDC supporters in the Ashanti region as nation wreckers, or rather, persons who vote for the NDC in the Ashanti region as nation wreckers. He made these comments when he was addressing supporters after a health walk in the Meshia South constituency.
During
the 8 years of the NDC, they collapsed the National Health Insurance Scheme in the Ashanti region. I am telling you, if you are in the Ashanti region and you vote for the NDC, you are a nation wrecker. He turned a deaf ear to our pleas for jobs and light. He has drained the economy and left us with nothing.
You heard there the running mate of the NPP flag bearer, Dr. Matthew Pukuprempe. But political scientist Dr. Asante has described the comments by the running mate of the NPP as needless and unnecessary, and is urging the party to rein him in.
Is it the case that he doesn't have message or what? I mean, these are things you don't say them. They're unfortunate and very unnecessary. You don't need them in political discourse. Don't you have message that you will sell it out to the people to ponder over and then give you response in terms of what? Their comments, reactions, and ultimately their votes. That is the way to go. For me, it is when you lack message, then you begin to go on that tangent, saying things that will reduce your fortunes and the rest of them.
You heard the political scientist, Dr. Asa Asante. Time now to bring you the very latest in the world of sports. Christian has joined us in the studio. Christian, good afternoon to you. What's in sports?
Good afternoon, Dedei. Now, Raja Casablanca head coach has expressed his dissatisfaction with the poor pitch conditions at the Accra Sports Stadium following his team's 2-2 draw with the Ghana Premier League champion Samatex in the CAF Champions League second prelims on Sunday. Now, speaking after the match, Raja Casablanca head coach acknowledged his team's effort but criticized the playing surface, which he believes hindered their performances.
I must not be happy. I'm not happy. I'm happy because we don't lose the game. But normal, we must win this game. Of this field where we play, it's not possible to play. But how we play today, I say congratulations, that is big win for my team. And because of that, I'm proud of this young. How he play and where we play of this field, very difficult, very difficult. sometimes. That is the football. I say thank you very much to Ghana. Thank you very much for these people. And special thanks for our supporter who coming with us here. Thank you very much and see you inshallah in Casablanca, in Morocco.
Now, some more football stories. Jadon Sancho has insisted he had worked hard to revive his form after delivering a match-winning assist for Chelsea on his debut. The youngster, who had endured a difficult period under Erik ten Hag at Manchester United, seized the opportunity to silence his critics with an impressive performance during Chelsea's 1-0 win over Bournemouth. After coming off the bench and earned himself the Man of the Match award, his assist came just 4 minutes before the end of the regulation time, when he found a fellow substitute, Christopher Nkunku, with a precise pass that the French forward converted to secure the win.
You know, I've been working hard for this moment, and I'm just happy that I got my chance. Yeah. I had a great end to last season, obviously being in the Champions League final, and you know, I just told myself going into this season, I just want to, you know, kind of have a great start to the season, and you know, it's my first game, so I'm happy to get a win with Chelsea and obviously make my debut, like I said.
That should be it for sports, Dedei.
Thank you very much, Christian, with the very latest in the world of sports, and that will be it for today's edition of the Star Midday News here on Star 103.5 FM. For more news, do log on to starfm.com.gh. Have a good afternoon. My name is Tettey.